This is your spring rundown 167. Let's get it. All right, welcome back everyone to our kind of first episode of spring altogether, because I think last episode had a mixture of winter and spring. So
our first true full
official
spring episode.
Yeah. I didn't really see anybody guessing what our third show was. Maybe it was too obvious or whatever. So
man, so sucks for all you guys who got it wrong.
Yeah, they was probably too scared because too scared to guess, because they wasn't sure what to say.
Joke's on you. It is Witch Hat Atelier.
No, don't get them excited, Nom. It could have very well been if it wouldn't if this season didn't line, like if the premiere dates didn't line up, like it just lined up horribly for us, I think Nom agrees too. Like I think Witch Hat would have been really fun to add. It's just we would have had to do like so much extra stuff just to add it to the rundown since this is the new format we're doing. So it just didn't line up, I don't think. Right.
Yeah, I mean a 2-episode premiere, it's great for when we're first doing it and it's the only type of shows that we're covering, right? Mm-hmm. So we get like 2 episodes, then we get 1 episode and 1 episode. That's fine. We can do that. Throwing in 3 finales.
What would it have been? Would it have been 4 episodes all at once of Witch Hat?
And then yeah, if we did it that way, it would have been 4 episodes of Witch Hat today. So we would have ended up talking about 8 episodes total.
Yeah. So I mean, it would have either been like 7 or 8 if we done it last week or whatever, or the week before, or it would have been like 7 or 8 if we done it this week. And either way, like we're looking at 3-hour numbers, and I don't know about you, but I ain't trying to do like a 3-hour episode on a rundown. So no. I think we go long enough as it is. So
yes.
But yeah, Witch Hat didn't make it. I'm hoping that maybe we can like talk about it on a future date after the season's over. We'll see how that plays out. But maybe we can get that worked out. But right now we do have Wistoria season 2. Wistoria Wand and Swords, I think it is the full name. Season 2. Joining the spring rundown with Daemons of the Shadow Realm and One Piece Elbaph Arc. So it's honestly, I think that's a pretty well rounded rundown episode. So got 1 new show, and our famous goated One Piece, and then obviously Wistoria, which was a great first season, and I feel like it's pretty good comeback season so far.
Yeah, for sure.
But with that being said, linktree.com/animedegens to follow us on all the socials, join our Discord, all that good stuff. Tell Nom he's looking awful cute today. All that good stuff on YouTube, because you can see us on there now for the rundowns.
I haven't shaved in a couple days. Y'all say that to me now. Y'all fucking weird.
Some people like it. Some people, they think a little, Shadow is cuter. You know what I mean? So who knows? It's our esteemed listeners, Nom.
Still calling them weird.
They have really beautiful eyes, and they think everything's beautiful that we do. So,
well, on that note, let's get started with our first show, Daemons of the Shadow Realm. We're going to start off with episode 2, titled Right and Left. Mm-hmm. There's a bit of a theme with the titles, which I'll mention here after we're done talking about it. Um, but we start off with Yuru being shown the secret passage, right? He was a child at this time. He's with his father, and it's interesting that we're getting to see a lot of his family, despite the fact that they abandoned him. Considering most other shows would have just been like, yeah, you were abandoned, and then that's it. You don't focus on that character anymore like that.
Yeah, you focus on what comes after or whatever, not, what happened. So,
Yep. Um, but basically, as his father is showing him this passage and giving him the rules, he basically tells him at the end that the right and left is always watching over him. And in the present, which is where we cut back to, the right and the left are watching over him, just no longer in the statues.
yeah, they're towering way above now, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Overall, very well done too. I really wanted to highlight the fact that we're getting to see the character's parents in full, right? Like not this jaded memory, not this hazy, bits and pieces here or there. Like he remembers them.
Yeah.
So I do feel like they're going to play a prominent part later on in the story.
I think so too, which we haven't gotten to it yet, but I like what they've done with what they did with the parents and like leaving some of it a mystery. So it makes me very interested, very curious as to why things happen. I guess I'll just leave it at that for now.
Yeah. Um but anyways, back to the story. Yuru is shocked at the Daemons cuz like truthfully, he doesn't know what to do or believe at this point. And it also turns out that they have no knowledge of the modern world at all. They are still calling helicopters birds at this point.
I mean, they don't know no better, you know?
Yeah. Dara's like, all right, guys, hey, so and so, we all need to go. And the Daemons are like, we're not listening to anyone but Yuru. Which allows our favorite Chompy Chompy to show up. Gabby.
Yeah. Yeah. I was waiting. I was so ready to see her come back. So big plus for that because she's honestly like one of the best parts. I really hope Nom that she's like a reoccurring character. I don't know how that looks, but like I really hope so.
Well, let's find out what happens in this encounter first, right?
Hmm.
Because now she shows up, she sees the Daemons, she doesn't know what to do. They're standing there menacingly, and he's like, look, you two are referred to as gods in our village, so like I can't give you any orders, but just go save the people and leave this bitch to me.
Yeah, I really like this part because like I don't necessarily think at the moment I didn't think that he was qualified to say those words. You know what I mean? He hadn't proven himself yet because when we first met him, he seemed like he was just getting better and learning to use a bow and arrow, right? And now
A little bit, yeah.
he's challenging Gabby to a one-on-one with no interference. I'm like, bro, you're brave. I like
Yeah.
it.
I mean, she's gonna use her teeth. She ain't
Yeah.
gonna have no problem about it. Um but this is where it gets interesting because one of the Daemons dashes away, right? And just before making impact, literally leaps over the teeth. Says it feels sorry for them because the other one is the more hot-headed one, which we'll cover in a second, right? But he's gonna go save all the villagers. Meanwhile, the teeth then take a boot to the face from the other Daemon, the feminine one, gets slammed into the wall as Yuru just becomes a master marksman and takes out Gabby's leg.
I mean, it's smart though. Like he legit has the mind of a hunter, you know, like instead of like instead of going for a shot that may or may not like take them down, he goes for the shot that, you know, disables them or cripples them pretty much. That way he can easily finish the job. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see that.
Yep. She gets dragged away by her teeth. We'll cover that in a moment. Asa ends up throwing Lady Yamaha against the wall and starts dashing towards Yuru and Gabby. The big demon is heading towards the village, and left is, or sorry, the other one is a little spoiler, but one's right, one's left. So right's heading towards the village to save the villagers. Left is fighting the teeth. As Right saves everyone, he runs into Asa. And Asa ends up like shooting a blast at him, which he ends up roaring back at her. Pretty cool moment, by the way.
Yeah, it really was.
He ends up realizing who she is as she runs away. Back to the left, she literally pries open the jaws of the teeth monster, of the teeth demon. And this allows Yuru to get one more shot in, which is directly on her arm. Now she doesn't have the ability to move. She doesn't have the ability to use her powers. She's literally handicapped.
Yeah, I also like when the mouth was being pried open, is you could literally see like Gabby's hand like being pried open too. I thought that was like a cool touch that they added there.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
At this point, Asa shows up and stops Yuru from killing Gabby.
Yeah, I don't know. I did have like a slight issue with, you know, with Yuru being as goated of a shot as he was after thinking that he was not that good. You know what I mean? I think we got led to believe that he wasn't as good, but maybe he actually is. I don't know. It was weird to see. Like it's nothing big, but like it just took away a little bit. I feel like so.
It's almost like we didn't even get to actually see what his powers were until this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it caught us by surprise.
It just seemed like in the beginning that they really wanted us to believe that he was like very newbie, you know, at hunting and like shooting and stuff. So like he just like ended up like killing whatever he shot at, and that was his first time doing it so like cleanly or whatever. I thought it was just like a little bit bad, like weird, I guess you could say, that he's able to hit like two really difficult shots on two really small targets. So
well, I mean, he has indicated that he's hunted larger things. So
yeah,
I mean, it's I guess it's not entirely impossible to believe.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a big deal though. No, I'm like it. You know, this show's pretty good as it is, so I'll let it go.
But at this point, though, Wright arrives and he confirms that this Asa is real. This is the real Asa. Yuru also learns that the Asa that was actually in the cage was actually an imposter.
Yeah,
designed to keep him in the village. At this point, Dara finally gets Yuru to leave the mountaintop as Asa starts crying over the fact her brother is still alive. Absolutely amazing, by the way. Like, one for one recreation of the manga.
Okay, that's nice. I thought this scene was like pretty cool. Because like what we was shown of Asa so far was like she was like a badass, a tough chick, like you know, very very hard. You know what I mean? And like I feel like this kind of like makes us change our like thoughts on her, like our opinions on her, because like it kind of softens her up, and like it makes us wonder like, is she really the bad guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's starting to become more human now.
Yeah, Yeah, she doesn't seem like the old big bad villain now. She actually seems like a person, and like maybe she is a good guy. Like maybe the people are in the wrong, or you know, I mean, what's the reason why they run away with her? Like her parents run away with Asa. Like we don't know that. Like it must have been something pretty big, though, but we just don't know yet. So it's
Did,
interesting. It's
did we
interesting to think
actually,
about.
did we know about that part yet?
I think maybe so, just a little bit. They kind of split it up weird. Like they did a little bit in the very beginning, that we've already talked about, and then they did some more in another part, and I forget where it is. So, and I
Okay,
don't know if you remember. So
not entirely, but
yeah,
anyways, the group finally makes it down the mountain until they come across Hana in the getaway car, and Hana can actually see the Daemons.
Anna's actually a
So,
cool character, I thought.
yes. You really see it in the next episode, though.
Yeah. Hana, well, I knew that she was going to be a cool character in this episode, just the way she interacted with uh what's his name?
Iru.
The well, not just Yuru, but
Oh, Dara.
Dara. Yeah, Dara.
Yeah.
So it was pretty funny. I like characters like her, so but yeah.
Yep. But anyways, at this point, Yuru gets to learn more about the modern world slowly, starting with cars. At this point, we get to see a bit more from Asa and Gabby, who end up calling for help, and a man named Jin comes to save them.
Mm-hmm.
After hearing that a member of the Tadara clan was present, there's a big clue there as to who this person was. Um, he wishes that he was actually there to deal with them. Tyler, do you know who was there from the Tadara clan?
Like who they was talking about? Because
Yeah.
it was Dara, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
literally he literally just got rid of the ta in his name, and that was his undercover name, Dara.
yeah, make it where they don't know, bro. Let's take away the TA.
Hey, fooled everyone else. Um, but anyways, as the group drives away, Dara reveals it was the Kage Mori who attacked, and now he has to change his name and move to a new home. The right and left at this time are also visited by daemons called Oshira, who are revered as gods. Hana claims humans classify the daemons into different groups, and the last we see is the Kagemori group claiming the mission of success, with Asa confirming her brother is still alive and now down the mountain.
Yeah, I think things after this episode, like I know we got like a lot of things answered, but also it made things more complicated in the grand scheme of things so far, anyways. Um, like as far as like all the groups and like all the mysteries are like revolving around the village and stuff like that. It did get a little bit more complicated with all the information we learned, but at least we're getting more information. So pretty cool though, pretty cool. Um
So there
also
was actually one really cool part in this scene that I want to talk about, and I know
okay.
that you appreciated it as well. And again, one for one for the manga, exactly like beat for beat, right? So Gabby's talking about how she's hurt really, really badly and how he was a really good shot.
Mhm.
And Jin's like, that's really unfortunate. And then Asa goes, that's my brother, just like a hunter. It was so great because she gloats about it in the manga too, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
It was so great.
I think this anime, it does a story, per se. I think it does a really good job of adding some humorous moments in there to. I mean, that's kind of what like Full Metal Alchemist was so good about. Is like
The
you know
human element.
yeah, the breaking up the seriousness with bits and pieces of funny moments, but not like overboard. It's just like
It's not, yeah, it's
just
not
funny enough.
even it's not even like the funny moments. It was like a sweet and endearing moment that
Yeah.
she has, and that just resonates to this whole new kind of like outtake where yeah, it comes off as funny, but it's like it's also super sweet at the same
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah. So, one of my other favorite parts of this episode was when they was trying to get Yuru and them in the car or whatever, and Hana's just like, "There are horses in here, and it goes really fast. Just get in a damn car."
Yes.
I was dying when that shit happened. It was so funny, man.
And that honestly brings up a few of my other favorite points in the next episode.
Yeah, the next episode is like peak as far as like references goes. It's pretty cool. One thing I am concerned about though is the military people that are they kind of got left behind as the barrier went up. What do you think they're gonna do? You think that they're gonna like be captured by the village, or you think they're gonna kind of like migrate into the village, or what?
I think they'll be captured by the village. The village will probably like execute them,
Interrogate?
right?
Yeah, you think they're gonna execute maybe?
Or or they are gonna try and get them to like try and indoctrinate them,
Yeah,
get them to integrate into their society.
because they lost
Because
a lot of people, right?
we'll cover more about that
Yeah,
in a bit.
yeah. It's pretty interesting. So it's pretty interesting to. And did we get in this episode? I'm pretty sure we did. Like like how to get down from the mountain or whatever. Like it was so complicated, man. I'm pretty
It
sure we
was
got to that in this episode, right?
it was that one, or I think it's the next one.
Either way, we probably won't talk about it because you know it's just it's a minor thing. But I thought that was really cool, like how his mom just like stumbled across the path and remembered it to get out of there. That's crazy to me. So
Yep.
it's pretty cool. But yeah, great. I think it
Um,
was a fun episode. So
it was. I do want to point out this episode did not feature the OP. However, episode 3 does feature the OP, so before we actually get into the episode, we can take a moment and we will actually talk about the OP.
okay.
Um, that being said, though, do you have anything else for episode 2?
Um, no, I like I said, I just like that Asa like Asa they made us change our opinions on Asa. That was pretty cool. I love it when anime dude does that to us. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, all right, so episode 3 is titled Dara and Hana. And so this is what I wanted to point out, Tyler. Do you notice the theme with the episode title so far?
and they keep on like basically duoing it up, you know. I
They're in
think the first
pairs.
one was Yuru and Asa, right?
Yep. Then you have
And
right and left, and now you have Dara and Hana.
so it's like they're putting opposites, right? Is that what you're getting at?
Not necessarily opposites, but pairs, right? And
Yeah.
there's one thing that we've kind of been led to believe already, and it's that Daemons are lumped into pairs.
Okay. Yeah. I think it might have something to do with opposites too, because like technically, like Yuru and Asa, like they're night and day, right? They're opposites, and then you got left and right, which is opposites. So,
Yeah,
do you think Dara and Hana's opposites? I think that could work, right? If you look at, I guess maybe if you look at it like a girl boy aspect, but not even that either. I think their like personalities are opposites too, right? Sorta.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I
But
think it's interesting. It's an interesting
regardless of the
thing.
opposite thing,
Yeah.
it's still the fact that everything is done in pairs.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll keep on going too.
Oh
Hopefully.
yeah. Oh
So
yeah. No, if anything like the manga titles are to go by, then it's still continue for a while. Um
what's the next one, Nam? Do you remember? I'm
I
just
can look
curious.
it up in a bit, but no,
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
remember. So that being said though, before we get into the episode, the OP. This one has been done by Vandi, and it's called Tobu Toki, right? Vondi has
Mm-hmm.
done several songs throughout the past 4 years, including Chainsaw Man, Spy X Family, My Hero Academia, Your Next Movie, and more. They create a melody that is befitting for the theme of the show, and in this case, which is not as fast paced as many shonen, right? It's a good song, and it really kind of like sets your expectations for what to expect. You're not gonna go into this thinking it's a battle manga or battle anime based on this song. That being said, I give it a 6 out of 10. It's listenable, but it's not necessarily memorable.
I think, like you said, it does start off, really slow pace, but I think once it reaches its climax and chorus and stuff like that, I think it gets pretty decent. I think it's probably on the bottom end of the OPs of this season, though, as far as like all together, honestly, in my opinion. But I do like the like about halfway through when it finally reaches that point or whatever, when it picks up and stuff. I kind of vibe with it. It's probably an OP that I probably won't listen to every time, though, to be honest with you. But it does what it needs to do, I think. So yeah.
Awesome. So, on that note, the actual episode, we're gonna start off with Hana bringing Yuru a shirt and Dara bringing him some sandals.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds really, really dumb when you think like that, but you got to remember he's been stuck on a mountaintop where they're living in like the 1400s still. So for him to get a t-shirt, like a plain white tee, I cannot make this any more apparent. It is literally just a plain white t-shirt. He is literally dumbfounded about this.
Yeah, I love it, man. I really do.
Even better is when she brings him some food, right? It's onigiri rolls, but like, they're different flavored, and he's honestly just so dumbfounded by it all and so unaware of all of this that he's just freaking out over it all, and he's like asking if it's food from the gods and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
I thought it was so funny that she had to like help him unwrap it and and everything else, and he's like, oh my god, this is, are you sure we can eat this? Like, this is, I feel like only royals can eat this or some shit. I was just over here dying, bro. Like, all the reactions to like modern day shit was just so funny, man. It really was.
Yeah. But yeah, Dara and Hana, they end up going inside this like shopping center, right? This rest stop to get something to eat while the other three stayed in the car. This is also one of my favorite moments because Wright is looking for how to open the car to let the horses out so the horses can eat. And Hana's like, don't worry, I already fed them. They're fine. Just don't touch anything.
Yeah, I think she also said something like, I'll have to feed them some oil later or something like that. I was just like, bro, this is so funny.
It's so great. But yeah, once inside the restaurant, Dara and Hana decide how to protect Yuru. Dara can't go back to his house. He can't use his name. He can't do anything that he once did because he's been compromised. So now he comes up with a new plan for the two to be married. And I want to reiterate, Tyler. I just want to reiterate, okay? Once again, perfect copy paste, manga panel, anime. The whole like Knuckles, she's like, I got your ring right here. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, I'm literally reading it again.
Bro, like,
it's so great.
Dara's had this cooking in his mind for so long, and he's just been waiting for a moment to just bring it out. And no matter what, I thought it was so funny that no matter what, like he's just not going to take no for an answer. That is the only way. That is the only way is to get married.
Okay, but to be fair, he does make a valid point, right? So, if he is single and he has 2 kids, why do you have 2 kids? People start talking. Once people start talking, the news travels. Once the news travels, the Kagemoris find out, and once they find out, they investigate. Then you're cooked.
I feel like with Yuru going around acting like he is or whatever, like so lost, I feel like there's a good chance that might happen anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. He's a pretty crafty kid. I think he'll find his way out of it. But that being said, they Hana still refuses, right? And eventually reluctantly agrees, but does so while claiming that she only has her eyes set on Jason Statham.
So good. Never would I would have imagined Jason Statham being mentioned in the freaking anime that we watch, bro. As a lover, like, oh, my marriage is already determined.
Tyler,
what?
He's mentioned in the manga as well.
I love it, man. Like,
it's so great.
That's so great.
Like, that's not even anime only. It's literally part of the story.
If like, that's a great choice. Like, that's a great choice. Honestly, I haven't heard his name in forever. So just hearing it in an anime just like went crazy. I went crazy. I was like, wait a minute, did I read that right? Yeah, I did.
Yes, you did. But back outside though, while those two are still having their discussion, Yuru ends up naming right and left. Right and left. There's literally no. They're just right and left. That's their names. Right is the male. He is the dominant looking Daemon. But then you have left, who, if I had to guess, is probably the more terrifying of the two. I mean, you saw what she did to those jaws, right?
Yeah,
how she ripped them open. I wouldn't want to mess with that.
She terrifies me, honestly. So I get it. I truly get what he means. So
yeah. He then asks to know everything about him and his sister. And all the Daemons know is that Asa was whisked away as a child. Dara and Hana come back, and then the group decides to set off, where Dara explains more of the Kagemori to Yuru and confirms Asa is working with them. I think this is around where he also starts to explain like that path up the mountain, right? And
maybe
because it was like right around here where he also starts to explain that the villagers, or not, what was it? Was it the villagers? The Kagemori, some of them are actually like part of the village that split off.
Yeah.
Right? And so they're like a rogue sect of them, basically. We get a lot of explaining in these couple episodes.
Yeah, but it didn't like, I feel like it didn't overpower us, or bore us, It was like, I think they've done a pretty good job intermixing the exploration of the new world and like in Yuru's eyes or whatever, while still like going back on like some of the past things and like what's happening in the village and all that stuff. So
well, not to mention too, just also expanding the world, much like what happens next, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're inside of an office building, right? We see this woman. She's clearly being stalked by a man. He wants to kill her. She runs into an elevator, tries closing it, but the man ends up catching up to her. And once inside, the door closes, and it turns out the woman was actually just a daemon all along. One of those anglerfish.
Mm-hmm.
Really fucking creepy.
It really was.
But yeah, as the trap or the stalker gets killed in the trap, Jin calls the woman, telling her it's okay to go back to the office, and he's even gonna call her boss and let her know. But another woman was actually getting onto the elevator and actually seen the demon leave the elevator. And then Jin ends up being there, and he is like, "Hey, you had seen it, didn't you? Let's keep this a secret."
Yeah, I didn't expect his demon to be that scary. Honestly,
Daemons.
Yeah, I didn't
He's
expect
got
it.
two.
Does he?
So that's what I was trying to allude to earlier, Tyler. Daemons only come in pairs.
Oh, that's. Oh, okay. So okay. I kind of get it now. So, but what about
Gabby's is an upper and a lower jaw.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I don't guess I like caught that. You know, I thought that maybe Yuru was an exception. You know what I mean?
Nope. Every daemon comes in pairs. So if you have one daemon, you actually have two daemons.
Okay.
So he's got the big anglerfish and then that little guppy that came out.
Like the bait or whatever the hell
No,
it
not
is.
the bait, because an anglerfish, right?
I don't.
Anglerfish has
The light bulb,
tip.
yeah.
What I'm talking about is in that scene where he says, "Let's keep it a secret." You see the anglerfish in the back, and then you see a little guy pop up next to him.
Yeah, I don't. I guess I didn't see that because I didn't catch that. That's interesting. I'm glad you told me. I'm gonna have to
Go back and check it out.
I'm gonna have to go back and check it out because I don't think I caught that. I only remember seeing like the anglerfish, because it was so like terrifying or whatever. So
Yes. But anyways, Dara and Hana explain their roles and answer any questions Yuru has. Like basically who they are. This is where he explains it, right? Dara also explains the legend of the twins, why they are being chased after and why people are searching for them. Um, and how they will cause a great war amongst daemon wielders. The right actually confirms that the prophecy isn't true, but it's just how people will act, right?
mm-hmm.
And then we also learn of the twins' powers at this time, which Asa, who ended up having the power break, which is to forcibly open anything, like a barrier, which is why the barrier was destroyed.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense actually now.
Yep. And Seal, which is going to be Yuru's power, which is to forcibly close anything.
Yeah.
They even make a joke about the two powers actually meeting together.
Yeah, about how
it'd be a paradox.
That it's never happened before, or it's only been I forget what they said. They went down like a stretch of like a conversation dialogue about it. And I was just like, man, this I can't remember exactly what all was said. So I was like, that's interesting though. So it probably won't happen unless it does, unless they're foreshadowing right now. I don't know.
Could be. But anyways, to wrap this episode up, Yuru, with all that he's learned, now has a new goal. His goal is not to find Asa. He's already found her. He knows that she's alive and safe. But he still doesn't trust her. And he has no idea about anything in this world. There's only one thing on his mind. Why did his parents leave him behind?
Mm-hmm. Why did they run off with Asa?
Yep. We also learned, too, that this is based on real-life Japan. It is based on a fictional city named Guntama. I did look into this a bit to try and figure it out, but they did name drop Tokyo.
Okay.
And like it looks very suburban-esque, right? Um as the three get back to Dara, Yuru and his Daemons, Dara reveals that they finally found a new place to stay and they won't have to be camping in the car anymore.
Which is a good thing because, you know, I feel like camping in the car for an extended period of time is going to get people noticing you and asking questions as well. So you can't have that, especially if they're going through the trouble to get married to avoid that shit and stuff. So,
Yep.
mhm.
But yeah, one other thing that happened in this scene, the smoke signal sender.
Yeah.
It's not a cell phone anymore, it's a smoke signal sender.
Yeah. They're trying to. I don't know why they like use that reference. Like, why didn't they just say like it allows me to talk to someone far away, no matter like instantly or whatever? Like, they're thinking too hard, Nom.
Well, because then he's gonna ask how that works, right? And then you have to try and break down how electricity and radio waves work. Where instead, hey, you know how smoke signals work? Yeah, it's like that instantly.
Dude got his mind blown.
Makes so much more sense.
They were so fascinated with like the light switches in the bathrooms or whatever. But they were so scared. He was so scared of the
air
hand dryer. Yeah,
because it sounds like mini dragons.
Yeah, he's like hell yeah. He's like hell yeah. I finally got the hang of it. I finally know how to use the restroom in this new world or whatever properly. I was like, bro's really getting it over here. So,
yep. No, everything so far though has been like a recreation of the manga. The first episode was a 1-to-1 creation. The second episode is actually the second and a little bit of the third episode. The third is the rest of the third, most of the fourth episode, and bleeding into the fifth.
Okay.
So they're starting to incorporate multiple parts into the series as it progresses, which is nice. I like that.
Yeah.
It's still keeping the flow going. It's not restricting itself. There's like 178 chapters right now, so there's no reason for them to
hurry up.
Like, rush through anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd hate for it to be rushed and like, them trying to adapt too much and cause like confusion and chaos, you know what I mean? Into a story that seems like it's going to be a good time. So, but yeah. Definitely a great time, I think. Great, what, 3 episodes so far? So,
yeah. Yeah, no, and it's done a really great job too of sticking to the manga, like 1-to-1. And I'm really enjoying that too. There's been so far no fluff, no added extra scenes, nothing that has been like, new or original. So it's true to the author's vision as well. And an author like this, let the vision shine. Let it shine. There's no reason to fucking hide any of this.
Yeah,
this is already great.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they've already like made their name with Full Metal and stuff, and now they're like making a different story. That's, I ain't gonna say just as good, but I'm gonna say they're making a good story as of right now, and they're making a very interesting, good story. So far, anyway. So I'll be interested to see if like it stands anywhere close to what Full Metal does for us, when this is all said and done. So,
I have great faith.
Yeah, we shall see. Definitely doing a better job than a lot of other people, like we touched on in the last rundown episode. So, you got anything else though?
I do not. Do you?
I don't think I do as either. I think we did a good job. There wasn't like a lot of action. It was just a lot of talking. I feel like we done a good job covering it. So, um,
Okay.
but with that being said, let's move on to Wistoria, our new addition to the rundown this week. It'll be Wistoria season 2, and we're gonna start off with episode 1 called Barrier Day. And like I said, it's a new season. We started a little bit late, so I wanted to do like a little recap, to kind of get us like remembering kind of where we're at in this story, because I think it's been over a year since we've seen Wistoria season 1. I'm pretty sure they did have a recap episode, but I did not watch it. So I thought that I remembered pretty accurately what happened. And I think it was something like Will had just gotten done like going super hard in the dungeon with his like party, like saving everybody and getting all the credits that he needed to like continue taking the test or whatever to in order to get to the tower, which is like his dream, you know. But like that was pretty much it, if I remember correctly. Am I forgetting anything, Nam? You think?
No, not really.
Yeah. I just know the end of last season was pretty high, you know, with all the cool fighting and stuff in the dungeons, and you know everybody like having to have faith in Will, and you know then we had like the two villains show up and all that good stuff. So but yeah, we kind of continue that vibe with this season, because we the first thing we see is like the teachers grading tests, and they're just like, this is crazy, like he hasn't missed a single question yet, he's getting all 100s, all this stuff, and you're just like, I know who that is, it's Will, you know, Will is doing this, Will is the smart dude, you know. So I thought that was pretty cool to see that, like even though he's looked down upon and stuff like that, he's still like going crazy, like he's still doing an insane job, you know, with how serious he takes all these tests. So but sadly, Nam, he's only got one more thing standing in between him and his dreams, and that's the final written exam. But the sad thing about it is who's actually in charge of that exam, and it is Professor Edward. Um, and if we don't know, if you forgot, perchance, Professor Edward is actually the one that hates Will pretty much. So he ends up choosing a question that Will just doesn't have any chance of answering. Um, and that's like, what is magic? How do you create magic? How does it work? What's the process like? And like, how can Will truly answer that when he cannot do magic at all? So I thought that
Yeah.
was interesting.
Yeah, no, that was a real dick move there by on his part.
Yeah, I mean, he is a dick, you know. Let's be real. But like, do you feel like this is going too far, or do you think like he he has some valid opinions? What do you
I
think?
don't know. I think that he is going a bit too far. He's holding it personally against Will. Like that he can't really do magic, so it's like a huge slap in the face. He knew exactly what he was doing and did it specifically for that exact reason.
Yeah, I feel like that question, like, sure, like you can get real like real into detail and like, you know, really expect like the nitty gritties of like how to actually do magic and stuff like that. And but I feel like most of those people, I don't feel like that's a requirement to enter the tower. Like to be next level, I don't feel like you should have to know how to like explain how to do magic, as long as like you're benefiting the tower in some way. You know what I mean? Um so it's just an interesting choice, and like we all know why it happened, but like I feel like it's just stupid that you are able to like do get all the credits, do everything right, get all 100s on all your tests, and then you don't pass the final exam or whatever, and you don't even get like a chance to go. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like messed up. But I kind of get why it is the way it is. It is because of plot. You know, we can't have the story ending right here because that's the whole goal, right? Is to get to the tower. So it can't end in season 2, episode 1. So but yeah. I thought that was a pretty interesting turn of events. So, but um, but then we move on to happier things, pretty much, and that's the Barrier Festival, which is basically held every year. I don't know if they kind of I know they went over the barrier a little bit last year in season 1. I don't think they went over it as much as they did in these 2 episodes or whatever. But basically, the Festival is held every year in the Magia Vander, which is the greatest mages or whatever, the top mages. I think there's 5 of them.
Yep.
They get together, and especially on the New Year's Eve, New Year's whatever. And they basically repair the barrier, because the barrier is the only thing that's keeping this world safe from celestial forces or some shit. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there, but apparently they'd been invaded before or something, and that's the only thing that's stopped them and all that stuff. So, but each Magia Vander is a different element, elemental mage, I guess you could say, and they each have to work together to repair this barrier. Um, but in the meantime, while all the parties going, all the shops are selling their candies, and everybody's having a good old time. Will's over here; he's having a horrible time. Like he's over crying. Rossi's trying to, you know, uh, make him feel better and stuff because it's a big letdown because he tried so hard and he still failed to achieve his dreams, and like I feel like he's taking it really way too hard. I feel like he should know that like Professor Edward had it out for him, and it's not really his fault that he failed because like he was set up to fail. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
um, so I hated seeing that, uh, but here's where things get interesting now. So far like through the first like what 18 minutes of the episode, like it's kind of pretty chill, whatever. Like we're just bullshitting, kind of getting back into the story or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like the last like 3 minutes of the show, like we see like portals start opening up in the sky, like dungeon monsters start like raining down from the heavens like cats and dogs. uh like it's just a very chaotic time, and like the dudes from the dungeon in last season, the ghost dude without the head or whatever that writes his words, and also like the hooded dude, the villain dude, they both
Yep.
show up, and they're just like, it's time to attack this city pretty much. And they're just like raining down all these monsters all of a sudden, and because their main goal is to what they're trying to attack right now is because they want to kill the Magiavander. And the best time to do it is now because they're so weakened. Their mana is so low because they just repaired the barrier. So best time to do it, honestly. While they're this week. So yeah, pretty interesting way to. I really hope that each episode doesn't have like a huge cliffhanger like this, but I'm really starting to think that they love doing this. But yeah, you're just thinking now at this point, like who's gonna step up and save the city now? And like I think it was a good setup for Will, obviously, because like all the strongest mages are like they can't fight right now. So who's left? You're like who's gonna step up? And you're just thinking one word like Will. Will's got this. So do you have anything Nom for this
No,
episode?
no, honestly, I mean, it was pretty chill. It was pretty lame until again the last 3 minutes, and then it's like, oh snap, the villains are actually doing something. And they're doing it successfully.
they're actually looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first like 15 minutes of this episode, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know, Nam. I don't know, Nam. We might have to pull some kind of bullshit and get Witch Hat on here.
Honestly, yeah. I was ready to as well.
And then like the last couple minutes hit, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Okay,
now we're doing something. Okay,
now we're cooking. So yeah, definitely a good way to end it. Definitely ease my doubts about the new season. So, but if you don't have anything, we'll start off with episode 2, The Party from Hell. So I like the title. Accurate. I like this title. Yeah. Basically the squads. All the squads on the ground, I asked like who's gonna try to save this city, right? Well, we still have like mages on the ground, and we have the one mage flying in the air and stuff like that. They're trying their best to get control of the situation, but it's really hard because like there's so many monsters coming down, and some of them aren't just like normal monsters. Some of them are like equipped with a sword called the Mage Killer, which basically like nullifies magic. So it renders mages useless pretty much. Now I feel like if you're strong enough, you could probably get around these swords, but that's the thing is like the Majavander, like they're not allowed to come down. They're too weak to come down. So it's left to the other people. And I don't they're definitely not strong enough to handle a threat like this. Or at least it's shown that they're not, which is pretty cool to see. But once again, I feel like it sets it up really nicely for Will to come in and save the day. So that was pretty cool to see. But the Will coming in though, like it's kind of badass, honestly. Like we didn't get to see like a lot of it, but we seen him like just doing work. He comes in, he starts like taking them down left and right. He like slashing them up. He's not stopping. But the thing is, there's so many Nom. There's so many of them, and like Will can only do so much, and he's literally the only one out there that is actually creating a clearing any out. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy how they see him as ineffective and like not eligible for the tower and useless when situations like this keeps on coming up. You know what I mean? So but he's a badass. I don't know why they don't see it. But they end up calling him in some backup, and they're actually Will's buddies, the dwarfs. He made friends with the dwarfs, and now the dwarfs are allowed to come in and help fight. Usually they're banned from fighting, apparently, because it's the weakness of mages. But they come in and they kind of like help Will clear things out. Like they're really overturning the battle between Will and the dwarfs, and they kind of get like everything under control, which is pretty cool. And like the two villains, the headless dude and the cloak dude, they're just like, oh yeah, let's make this a little bit more spicier. Why not? And they're just like, let's open up this other portal and send this other thing out there, our ultimate weapon, our secret weapon. And they do that, and like a dungeon floor 40 monster called a Devander steps out, and like no one can do anything with it at all. Like it just shits on Will like constantly. Like it's just so fast, Nom. I honestly didn't expect it to render Will this useless. Did you?
I did not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost embarrassing just how outclassed Will was.
Yeah. Like he was getting he literally didn't have time to react. Like he was getting thrown through buildings and everything else. And like I think the dwarfs come in and kind of like slowed him down a little bit, but then like we get the moment where the villains are just like, wait a minute, like there's more, you know? And like he just starts absorbing all the dead bodies, all the like their cores or their mana, whatever you want to call it. He starts absorbing them all, and like he gets them all in him, and like he grows to be a even more powerful monster. You know, Will couldn't handle him, you know, to begin with. The dwarfs had to help him like kind of slow him down. And now he's becoming a much more powerful monster. And like it's honestly crazy because like nobody can touch this monster now. The Devander. Like nobody. Like I think the Magiavander would even have trouble with this. I think they even said that this monster, specifically this monster, has killed past Magiavanders, which is
Yep.
kind of insane because that's without the power up. So, um, but yeah, but Will's still trying. Will's still trying to, you know, take him on. Rosty ends up showing up and they got a like really cool idea. He's like, you know, what if I'm pretty sure they was going for like a blade enchantment, which could have worked, you know? But it kind of didn't go so well because like the dude is just so fast and he showed up so quick and he's just like, nope, you're not doing that shit. And he just blocks it and chops off Rosty's arm. And I'm just like, okay, okay, Wistoria, I see you. I see you trying to, you know, create tension in a interesting way, right out the get go this season. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Nom. I don't think we've seen any gruesome injuries towards main characters last season, right?
No, not
Yeah,
that I can recall.
yeah. I don't recall it either. So this was honestly something. Seeing this happen. And then after all that's said and done, like the Vander, like he just slings Will and like throws him into buildings or whatever, and he follows after him, and he's going for the killing blow or whatever. And we get like a little cool moment with Rosty, and Rosty's just like, you know, he's basically you can tell that he's on a mission. We'll say that he's on a mission to make sure Will lives. Because I think that he knows I think that he thinks that Will is the only chance that this city has of surviving this attack. You know, because no one else can even come close to defeating it. So he hurries up and gets up there on top of the, you know, the buildings or whatever, and like he ends up saving Will right as the killing blow comes down. But tragically, Rosty ends up taking the hit for him, and it looks like, to me, it looks like Rosty died. Like I think we even seen him disintegrating, or what looked like to be him disintegrating. So that leads me to say, like, what do we think? Do we think that Rosty is actually dead? Do we think they're playing tricks on us, or what? No. What do you think?
Nope, I think that they just dropped the ball and they're killing people left and right now to really set up a lot of tension. I mean,
Which is
that
crazy.
this show needed something like that though, because otherwise it was just gonna fall into another typical shonen, right?
Yeah.
And even then, you could even say that it would lean more into like the Mashal, where it's becoming more of like a parody with the whole non magic user in a magic school.
Yeah.
But
It's more like
now
a
you're
more
giving it,
serious parody, right?
well, and not even now you're actually giving it credence and weight now there's a reason for Will to actually exist in this world, because mages are now useless against this threat. And
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to be the only threat that they're going to be useless against.
Yeah.
Which is also going to push the mages to be even stronger, but at the same time, I think this is going to be Will's chance to be thrown into the limelight and really shine.
Yeah. I think it is his opportunity to really step forward, take a bigger step forward. I mean, we've seen him take steps forward, but I think this is on another level. Like if he's able to actually defeat this, you know, when no one else could, and like the Magia Vander probably would struggle. Like it would probably take all of them to even have a chance at defeating it. Like if he's able to do that, then like I feel like he guarantees himself a ticket to like the top level, you know. That is if the show allows it, which is one thing that I also want to talk about. Like if he ends up like killing this monster and they still insist on throwing around like the useless, the book learner, like all the jabs at him, and nobody's like thankful for him, and everybody like people thinks that he's useless, then I I think that's lazy writing if they revert back to that. So I don't know about you, but I really do think that that would be lazy writing, um, at that point. So and it'd be really annoying, in my opinion. Uh,
I mean, it would be annoying, but I don't think that it would be lazy writing. I still think that there would be people who would basically try and blame what happened on him.
yeah, I can see that.
And
Uh,
so now it's just a matter of like, okay, whatever. I no longer care about what you think here. I'm going to continue to do what I know to do so I can earn my way to the keep regardless, right? And he'll earn the respect of the Magia Vander at that point, in which case they're going to be like, well, we don't give a fuck what you say, school.
yeah,
He's
Professor
done more.
Edward.
He's done more than you have, so he's coming up.
Yeah, where the hell is Professor Edward at right now? I haven't seen him. Have you?
Nope.
Like where they at, bro? You know what I mean? So like I don't know. Like I'm gonna be so pissed off if they literally don't use this as like a which I truly don't know if Will can actually defeat this thing because they've like pushed it so hard that it's strong as hell. I just don't. I, I just don't know if he can. Like, sure, like the death happened, and like he's obviously going to be like going above past his limits and stuff like that because of the death, and you know he don't want it to happen anymore. Blah blah blah. But I just don't know. Do you think the death is all he needs to kill it?
No, but I think that it's gonna be enough to get him to snap out of whatever his little mind funk is to finally realize what he needs to do to beat it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he's just so focused on how strong that thing is that he's not seeing what he can do.
Yeah.
You know, he's not utilizing everything at his disposal, more or
He,
less.
yeah. He's not like going super speed and like things that we know he can actually do. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting to see. I think this sets up for a really interesting next couple episodes, uh, with the death and with all this happening. Um, so one other thing I want to touch on, not episode. First of all, like, do you have anything else for the episode, Nom?
No.
Or okay, um, that's pretty much it for the episode. But I have some questions. I want to know. I want to see if like I'm alone in this feeling or like if you think so too, because like I feel like the animation of season one, the consistency was very high, and I think that's what like blowed away a lot of people and got the hype started because the animation was really good, on a show that everyone thought was going to be like below average. You know what I mean? Um, and I feel like this season doesn't seem to be as consistent as of right now with the animation. Like I feel like the monsters are, what wasn't the best at times. 90% of the time they wasn't the best. Like don't get me wrong, there's some moments and like fight scenes and stuff that they actually put money into and put time and effort into, and it went really hard. But I feel like they're not being as consistent as they was the last season. uh do you like agree with that, or like do you think do you see it differently or what?
I think you should let them cook.
Let them cook.
Hold up now. Because I think that this season is going to be a lot more combat based and there's going to be a lot more action. They're probably using that budget more responsibly and saving it for more of those higher like fight scenes as opposed
Yeah.
to background animation where that's where like a lot of the focus was in the first season. It wasn't just about the action. It
Mm-hmm.
was about the setup and the execution and everything else like that. And they were able to do that a lot better with um season 1 than it was with season 2. Season 2 is going to be more about the action, the story, right, the events, the deaths.
Yeah. So
So I could see him probably holding back some budget for taking care of all of that.
yeah, okay. Uh, you know, there's part of me that wants to believe that, you know what I mean? But obviously we don't know until we actually get there. But I mean, you do see flashes of greatness again, we did in these 2 episodes or whatever, but uh I'm really hoping that you're right, and they just like I don't like if their budget got cut, if their budget got cut or whatever, and they're doing it because they don't have enough budget to didn't have enough budget for season one, as much budget as they did for season one. I feel like that's crazy because like season one went so hard, and like they kind of earned more budget in my opinion, um but
We'll
yeah.
see what happens though.
Yeah. One last thing before we move on. The OP. What do you think about the OP?
OP's not bad.
Yeah.
Um, so a little bit of uh information on this band. This is Ash to Hero. The song is called Believers. And they are a Japanese rock band known for their high energy theme songs. Namely, they've done several Blue Lock projects,
Really?
movie
Okay.
shows. Yeah, so they've done several songs for Blue Lock. Um, and the high energy really kind of fits perfectly with how the season has started this year, right? Like you get that very slow lead up to what I would consider like a faster pace,
Mm-hmm.
a more energetic tone throughout, and I think that it's a perfect analogy for what we're going to be getting with this season, right?
Yeah. Um. I also think that the thing that like the thing that confuses me a lot though now is like I was over here talking about like how the animation seemed less consistent or whatever, but I'm not gonna lie to you, like I think this is the best animated OP I've seen of this season yet. Like I feel like this OP, the animation and like the all the scenes in this OP are just insane to me. They like went above and beyond trying to make it just really good. And like I really vibe with the song. I think this is probably one of the top. I ain't gonna like I don't really know off the top of my head, but I definitely would say this is probably in the top 5 OPs of the season. If maybe the top 10, like I said, I need to I haven't like went down and made my list yet or whatever, but it's definitely towards the top just
I hope
because
the
of the
next
animation.
I hope the next OP we talk about is like top 1.
We'll see about it. We'll see about it. Dog just has a look where he almost wanted to kill me right there.
No, I'll give this one a 6 as
Yeah,
well, right?
really.
It's more memorable than what was there for Daemons, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's not something that I'm gonna go out of my way to jam to, right? but
I think I agree there.
I think you did a good job though of saying like it had really good visuals for it, and that really saves the song.
Yeah, I think the song is just okay, you know, but what really like I said, what really like makes this stand out is like the visuals. Now, if only it could be like a Witch Watch OP1 kind of thing where the song and the visuals are insane, you know, then we can talk about like one of the best OPs of the year already, but you know, we're not there just yet. So but yeah, we definitely a good combination, a good OP. So
all right. Well, you got anything more for Wistoria?
no, I think I'm good to move on to OP.
All right, get the fuck out of the way. It's time for some Go Piece.
Hell yeah.
And before we get into anything, we're gonna do the OP first.
Okay.
Mainly because I don't even want to talk about the fucking episodes.
You want to talk about Minecraft or Legos, whatever?
Little bit of a backstory, right? So back when JJK Calling Games came out, right? And there was the OP for that. I know not a lot of people were super hype on it at first. One of my coworkers told me when it was out, right? The next day, he shows me his Spotify playlist. Like his entire history over the past 24 hours. There wasn't another song. I check in with him like a week later. He's listened to 2 other songs. Just literally 2 songs, right? Not 2 songs on repeat, just 2 totally different songs. Everything else was just Aizu by King New, right? And the reason why I say that, because he still listens to that song, like it's still up there, and like I'll give it to him. That one was a good one. This one is probably, this is honestly already a top 5 song before the episode that it started even came out. I found this on YouTube like a week beforehand, and I was already jamming to this thing. I Know the End. Luminous.
Goated, by the way.
Fantastic artist. Lots of personality all over the place, right? Whether it's like the super poppy or like the really grungy, whatever kind of vocal point she needs to hit, she can land it, right? And last we heard from Ina was Don Da Don's OP.
One of my favorites.
This song is just, it's a lot of fun, and it's just so free sounding, right? Like when you're listening to this song, you feel like you're just a bird flying through the cloud, not a care in the world. Nothing can stop you. I mean, just the tonal shift midway through just absolutely hits every single time. And the only complaint I have, and I do have one, the only complaint I have, this is not an extended OP. There is a perfect way to end this one, and it is literally like the back third of the song, right? I know you know exactly what I'm talking about, Tyler, where it's after the second chorus, and then it goes into like that thing where they're doing the shouting.
Like the One Piece or whatever?
No, after that. After the both choruses. Right?
Let
me see, hang on.
Oh, where she's hollering and like where the giants are like hollering, like screaming on the screen or whatever?
No, so from the actual song, around the 2:44-minute part.
Oh, the actual music video, which is actually really cool. Like a lot of the times, like the like we don't get actual music videos too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I've noticed though that we've had a recent trend of a lot of artists recently in anime doing videos. And it's nothing to do with the actual show or anything like that, right? Like if you watch the Luminous video from I Know the End, doesn't have anything to do with One Piece. I mean, there's like a pirate ship there, and it's very like nautical themed.
It's just very very fun to watch though.
Yeah, and she just has a lot of fun in the video. You can see it, and like really, that's the embodiment of One Piece. Just that fun, free feeling. And they nailed it, especially with Elbaph. Like, this is what the Straw Hats have been gunning for so long, and this song honestly just nails it. I give it an 8.5. It's been in my anime Spotify playlists day one.
Yeah, I like this song too. I think the music video is like a great addition to it, because especially since we got it so early, you know. I know that like usually like OPs do get music videos. It's just like later on or whatever. Like this one like dropped like really early. And it's cool because like Anna the end, like she won my trust, and she won my favor with Don's last OP or whatever, because like it was really good in my opinion. She makes this one like really good too. Like Nam said, it sounds so happy, so free. I feel like that's kind of what they want you to feel like going into Elbaph, because you know they just got away. They just got away from Egghead Island. Like, you know, they're on the up now. You know, they're going to the Giant Land. And so like I feel like this is a great song, and I like how it switches up several like a couple different times or whatever in it, and I was like One Piece, One Piece. And like the visuals too, like I honestly think they did a really good job with the visuals of this OP. Like I was scared to kind of like pay attention too much to it, but Nam assured me that it did not have any like very spoilery things. Like I'm sure there's like out of context spoilers, but we don't really know.
If you understand, like if you read the manga and
you would understand.
You saw certain things in the OP, you would connect them together. Without that, you have no idea what's going on, and you can safely watch this OP without being spoiled. It's definitely not Egghead ED where they're telling you all of Vegapunk except for Lilith is gonna die from the fucking beginning. The moment Dan pointed that out to me, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I've been staring this in my face this entire time. We had literally read it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the worst part. Dan and I had read all the way after that. And then we see the ED, and it's literally just all of them disappearing until Lilith is the only one left. And I'm just like, are you... Wow. Fucking spoil it all for everyone without even telling anyone.
Yeah, it's
masterwork, by the way, but nowhere near.
They do it all the time, so it's crazy. But yeah, so one thing about the OP that I wanna guess. You know, obviously you're not gonna tell me if I'm right or wrong, probably, but you know the little Viking, not Viking kid, but the little giant kid, orange hair, I think it is. Do you know who I'm talking about? He shows up in the OP.
I mean,
he's got like hair over his like eyes or whatever. And I think his hair is like orange. He's like a little kid, you know, like a giant kid with like a Viking hat on or whatever.
What about him?
So I want to make a bold guess that he is one of the characters that Luffy takes a liking to, and he, you know how we kind of get like somebody that Luffy wants to protect or whatever, like a new friend or whatever. I feel like that's the new friend. That's the new person that Luffy wants to protect on Elbaph Island. So, but like I said, obviously you're not gonna tell me. So, but I just
I'm watching the music video right now.
I just wanted to guess at that. I forget where it's at. It shows him for like 2 seconds, bro.
I vaguely know who you're talking about.
Let me see if I can't find.
The problem, Tyler, is that it's better off if you don't look any into it at all.
Yeah, I understand that, but I feel like he's shown on the screen for like a very long time in retrospect to what's going on in the OP. And so it just makes me feel like he's a very important character uh that we're
Oh,
gonna
he
get
is an
to.
important character, and you're gonna get to see a lot of him. But that's all I'm gonna leave it at, Tyler.
Did
Please do not look into it. You
did,
will spoil things. Stop.
did you see what I was talking about though?
I did not see what you were talking about, but I
Okay.
am telling you now, stop.
Okay.
You do not know how easy it is to spoil yourself now
Oh,
in
I'm not
One
looking
Piece.
shit up, bro. I'm not looking shit up. That's just one thing I noticed.
Everything is now a spoiler in One Piece.
Yeah.
You cannot think about a single thing and be like, oh, well, let me just look up that. Now you're gonna know
No,
something that is actually critical to the ending.
I would
So just,
never. I know
yeah,
better. I know better.
don't worry. Everyone that you see in the OP, you will see in the show.
Yeah, I absolutely know better. So to do that, because
That's
people put that shit out there very easily to find. So uh,
yes, and that's all I'm gonna leave it at though. Is kids are important. um, but yeah, did you give a rating to the
I
OP?
I think that I have. It's hard, man. Like I think that Wistoria and One Piece is sort of like right there. I think that the way it goes with me, like as the season goes, things kind of like settle into place. Um, I like the hype wears down, and I actually figure out where they're actually at. But I think right now, like um, One Piece and Wistoria is kind of like right there, neck and neck with each other as far as OPs go for this rundown. Right, like they're both really good. I did like. I'm not gonna lie, I did like last season's OP like a lot. So that may be like hindering my a little bit of like the opinion on this one, but I think this is still a really good OP and a really good like visuals to go with it. Like it really sets the tone of what we're trying to do. I feel like so I like it. Yeah, I think it's probably hitting around like an 8, probably an 8, 7.58 for me. So both
Okay.
Wistoria and uh Elbaph. So
Okay. You can survive this week.
yeah, just let me cook now. Let me figure it out. You gotta give me some time. You gotta let me listen to it, over and over every week. Is honestly that's what I did with Dandadan. Like I wasn't a big fan of Dandadan season two's OP Anna the End or whatever. Her OP for Dandadan, and like as the time went on and the season went on, it became like I don't know if it was my favorite of that season, but it became one of my top of 2025, which is that's crazy when I didn't actually care for it in the beginning. So just let it cook for
It,
me.
it was a banger. It
Yeah.
was a banger. All right. So now that we got the goat of OPs out of the way, now we can get to goat piece.
Yeah.
Episode 1157. Legoland.
Literally
Um
Legoland.
no, so this one is actually called Nami in a Fix, an adventure in Black Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So Nami ends up waking up to Usopp's voice in Legoland. Turns out that they're actually trespassing, they don't have tickets, and now they're about to be escorted out by guards. No, I'm kidding. But she does end up waking up in Legoland, and then we hear buzzing noise, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do get to see a view of some giants in a town outside. Again, everything is still looking very blocky, very Lego like.
That's not
Um,
all the view we got.
what do
They
you mean?
were out of their way to show us some really interesting views of Nami.
I mean, I'm not getting into the fan service.
No, well, I'm just saying there's a
That's
really interesting way to start out like the episode. Like I was like, oh
Look,
shit, Dan's gonna love this shit.
really, we can thank Oda for that one.
Yeah,
That was straight off the manga panels.
Like he's been cooking. He's been cooking in that department for a few arcs now. So he's like, let me turn this up. We're getting into the end game. You know, I'm getting into the end game with this shit too. So,
but so anyways, they see a view of outside, and it turns out that the giants are speaking of gods falling all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Which we then see Nami shocking a bunch of giant bees before she gets chased by a giant porcupine.
Horrible way to wake up. I ain't gonna lie. I would not want to wake up like that.
I tried going back to sleep.
Maybe this
I wouldn't wake
up
again, but so as Nami's running though, she ends up finding Usopp, and he's inside a cat's mouth. No other way to put it. He literally is just dangling out there, and he's like, Usopp's in a fix.
Yeah, I thought it was so funny, Dom, is that Nami was running like towards Usopp to find him. That way he could protect her. And she gets to him and he's like, help me, Nami, help me. I need help. And she's like, what do you mean? I need help. You need to help me. It was so funny.
The two of them, they're so hopeless.
They are.
But anyways, the porcupine closes in, and Nami uses the pole that she got to kind of keep it away. Mm-hmm. Zeus ends up shocking it, but it ends up cracking the bricks and forces them to go flying. As they are falling, Nami ends up landing on the ground, and the porcupine lands on the cat. Still shocked. That was you can't ask for a better shot than that.
No, like it's the perfect lucky draw, I guess you could say. Like they lucked out so much because like Usopp and Nami together facing those two things, you know, I think Luffy said it best like later on. He's like, you so could have handled that. And I think that they could have. I just think that like waking up to find themselves in this strange area with all these big things that is unrealistic, it would kind of mess anybody up, I feel like.
Oh yeah, so. And it gets even worse, right? Because now they're getting chased by this cat until they find a ledge. And then Usopp's like, wait a minute, we just got done drinking Green Fairy, and they said you can hallucinate. So this is all a hallucination.
This is so stupid.
And he stands there and he takes the cat's paw right to the face.
Like, I'm just thinking to myself, like, how is this a hallucination, Usopp, when you was literally being bitten inside of the cat's mouth? Like, you literally was hanging inside the cat's mouth.
He was hallucinating it.
Yeah, you know? I bet he hallucinated really hard when he got slapped. It's so stupid. Usopp's so stupid.
Yeah.
And Nami just let him do
it. Well, so what is Nami gonna do? Yeah. Stand with him?
Just say no. So, no, Usopp, don't do that, Usopp.
Usopp gets sent flying, and as he does, Nami gets sent with him along with the cat.
Mm-hmm.
They're all three on the ground now, and as Nami's trying to wake up Usopp, the cat's about to close in and nearly eats them. Just then, Luffy shows up. Mind you, he's using Gear 3. So he's not coming out of the gate just using Gear 5. He's using Gear 3.
Mm-hmm.
Zoro and Sanji are also right behind him. They literally pick the cat up, smack him in the face, and then throw him on the ground really quick.
In like a combo, which was really cool. Really cool to see. Each one of them got like a special attack off or whatever. Because you know nobody messes with Luffy's crew, right? I also thought that this was kind of like a missed opportunity for making a Zoro lost joke. They totally could have made it there, but they did not. It would have been so funny though.
I think ultimately they're all lost, so they can't just joke on him.
Yeah, I think his excuse was like, I heard a bunch of commotion and found Luffy or whatever, right? So I get it.
Yeah,
but I feel like it would have been really funny if Zoro they played the Zoro lost meme. So right then and there.
At this point now, though, the cat is knocked out, and the group decides their next plan.
Mm-hmm.
We end off with the castle finally crashing as the group heads into the town below. The group investigates their surroundings and try to determine the best way to the sea, which ends up leading them into town to talk to people, as Luffy and Usopp end up singing their Elbaph song. Elbaph, Elbaph.
It's such a interesting episode because like it was so chaotic, but it was also like nothing really happened. One of my favorite parts of it was like when it was like falling down from the castle or whatever, and like you literally have like a shot. There's one shot of like all of them falling, all the reactions or whatever. You got like Usopp like scared to death, like, you know, screaming his lungs out, whatever. Luffy's just like very happy, like he wanted to jump or whatever. You got Zoro, he's literally standing in like the nothing happened pose with his arms crossed as he's falling. And I'm like, that goes hard, bro. That goes hard as hell.
Zoro every time, just
that man is not afraid of nothing. So I loved it. Another moment that was really cool was the when Nami was using Usopp as a shield, and when he was like dead or passed out or whatever. I was like, man, this is so cool. This is so funny. Like
afterwards, he was like, "You used me as a shield. I'll never forgive you."
It was so funny though. I loved it. I'm glad we're getting some of these like this reminds me of like the early One Piece shenanigans that we kind of miss, you know, towards the end, you know, like the end of the One Piece or whatever. So
back before like time skip.
Yeah. So like we haven't gotten a lot of these moments in like lately, you know. Like it's been a long time. Like we get bits and pieces here and there, like Zoro and Sanji like doing bullshit, but like we don't truly see like a lot of these moments. I think we needed that because it's been a few heavy arcs, you know what I mean? So we need something light like this right now. So
yeah, and I mean essentially that's the whole purpose of Gear 5, right? To bring that levity.
Yeah.
One of my favorite points was when the OP played in the beginning.
No, Nam actually just didn't watch any of the episode. He just repeated the OP and like he's just faking like he watched the episode because he read the manga already.
Writing down the chapters that I read.
Yeah, he read the manga already. Right. He's just watching the OP over and over again.
I just keep repeating it until the episode's done. Like, man, that was a really good episode of I Know the End, Luminous. You can't say much, Tyler. You watched Fan Letter like 3,000 times.
Yeah, I mean, I need to watch it again, honestly.
Before you do that, let's get through episode 1158.
Mm-hmm.
A Quest in the Land of Mystery. The Secret of the Sun God.
Yes.
And I didn't think Luffy had that many secrets left anymore, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I think they got the wrong sun god. I don't think it's Nika.
No, definitely not. Luffy and Usopp, they begin by arguing whether the beast was a cat or a lion.
It's like the chicken and the egg, right?
Well, no, because the cat can actually transform into a lion is what it is. And Luffy only saw it as a lion, so he thought it was a lion that transforms into a cat. But Usopp's like, no, you idiot. I was in its mouth earlier. It's a cat.
But truly, how do we know that it wasn't a lion first? And it's a classic chicken and egg. Like, which one comes first? We truly do not know. You know what I mean? And like,
we do know, Tyler.
Them arguing over it is just like, like I said, going back.
We do know the answer. We do, right? Now hear me out here. When the cat gets knocked out, what does it transform back into?
The lion, right?
No, a cat. It's a cat that can transform into a lion.
I'll let you win on this one.
When it can no longer use its ability, it reverts back to its basic form, right?
Maybe. We don't know. We don't know how it works. So we don't know specifically.
All I'm saying,
we can only assume.
The only difference, right? Luffy in Gear 5, when he leaves that, how he ends up becoming a frail old man. Yeah, that's the only exception. Other than that, what happens when Luffy exhausts his power? He goes back to being Luffy.
I mean, you are right. So
when the power is exhausted, aka when someone is knocked out, they revert back to their original form.
I'll give it to you, but still, I thought it was really fun to see two dumbasses arguing with each other.
So stupid. So stupid. But as they're arguing, a man on a grasshopper approaches.
I thought it was like small. I thought it was like Tauntaun. You know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like
that's Tauntaus.
Yeah.
Nope, he's a giant. And he explains some of the lore of the world to the group and sends them on their way, unaware that they are literally the reason why his country is experiencing every single problem that they are having.
He's like the rabbit got killed or whatever, the gods rabbit.
Gods are dying, castles falling apart. Now I gotta go feed this god who's probably really hungry.
And Luffy's just like, it was
yeah, Nami's like hearing about the porcupine and she's just like, can we go? But Luffy at this point though, he's too excited to contain himself. And he starts charging the way the guard said not to, because there's supposed to be a lot of strong people there.
I love the little sorry, Nami.
Yeah. But then as they run over that way, Luffy ends up running into a mirror, shattering it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's revealed that the group is inside a cage, which is inside of a giant's room. And they also happen to hear Chopper from the other side, which causes Zoro to break the cage open.
Yeah. So at this point, so the first, I think we've watched 3 episodes. This is the 3rd episode of the Elbaph, right? And
yep.
I think this is I was so confused on. Obviously, everyone was that didn't read the manga. What is this place? How did we get here? And at this moment, it finally started making sense. What was actually going on, except for the fact that we still don't know what's really going on because they was on a friendly ship, and now they're locked in a cage or whatever, being treated as pets, and Chopper's locked up or whatever too. And you're just I thought we was in a friendly ship. We kind of get the premise, but we still don't truly know what is happening. Is there a trader on board? Are the giants I know that Dory and Brogy are not traders, but maybe there's a possibility of one trader being on board and just the rest of them doesn't know about it. You know what I mean? Because this is kind of a collection of ants, in somebody's personal room or whatever, right? So they don't. Who would know? You know what I mean? So
yep.
It's pretty interesting how this played out. He's in here playing with Legos in a freaking aquarium, bro.
Yep.
Oda's great, honestly.
With a two-way mirror on there too, which Sanji was trying to let Nami know that he needed to clean the mirrors, and she was like, "Don't you even think about it, you fucking perv." But so anyways, they get out, they break Chopper out of his shackles, and then the group starts exploring the room when suddenly they are attacked by a snake, mice, and a bird.
Mm-hmm.
As they take them all down, the sun god appears, and this is when the group runs back into the cage. They actually started a fire in the entire room, so now the entire room is literally engulfed in flames.
When
As
you
they're
say
running
entire
back into the
room, I think
cage.
the boat is in flames now too, right?
I said what I said.
Yeah. Luffy created a lot of problems today, and he hasn't
Yes.
stopped yet.
Nope. So as the group is running, though, Luffy takes the cat and makes it carry the group, the cat's literally saying that he's gonna make them all pay. But Nami reveals that she ended up stealing a map during all of that chaos, and just then, the sun god actually appears in the cage, ready to chase down Luffy and them. Yeah, that's kind of scary. So Usopp has a grand plan.
God Usopp will save us all.
Run to the other side of the cage and break through the mirror.
I mean, he's not wrong, except for the fact that like giants are huge and like they're probably not gonna be able to sustainably run away from the giant, right?
Not that easily.
Yeah. I do like that they like, so we got like the villagers of the cage, right? And they're just like oh, the sun god, he's mad again or whatever. So like this isn't the first time they've seen this giant, right? Like this is obviously, you know, they've seen it before and they've seen it go on a rampage. So obviously somebody else was in here too. It's what it makes it seem like. So
Yep.
pretty interesting. But I like this episode. I like the end of this episode. I like this episode. Like now we actually kind of know what's going on somewhat. So
Yeah, this was a good one. It really started to answer a couple questions while also like leaving you hungry for more answers.
mm-hmm.
It also had the OP in the beginning, which was really, really cool.
Yeah. Since you're only watching OP, I get it. I
Yep.
don't think it even had an ED yet, so I don't think.
No, it does.
Oh, it
They
did.
do.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the OP, so
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not pee pee poo poo either. So,
Exactly.
uh, uh, so one more thing, before we end this episode or whatever. Do we know where Robin, Jinbei, and Frankie are? Aren't they still on the boat?
Yeah.
We did get confirmation of them still being on the boat, right? That's the only
Yeah,
three that
from
we're missing, right? Well, besides Bonnie, right?
Bonnie is also with Jinbei and them.
Yeah. So that's the only four that we're missing, I think, right? Everybody else is in
Yeah.
the cage. So
Yep.
okay. I just wanted to clarify that because you know my mind can play tricks on me sometimes. And I know that you probably knew the answer to that. I knew we'd seen some of them, but I didn't know if we'd seen all of them before. So but
Yeah, no, we saw all of them 3 episodes ago at the end.
yeah.
Or maybe yeah. And then when Nami wakes up, that's where we get to go to this group. We focus on this group for a while.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Like it's like I hated to see the group being divided again, you know, because I'd like to see them stick together, but it seems like sometimes they just get divided. So I like the fact that they're not divided, like they are divided, but I don't think they're truly divided. I think they're in the same proximity. It's just like they are divided in a way. So I think, anyways, I don't know that for sure, but I think that that's what's happening. So, um, but we shall see, I guess. Do you have anything else on for this?
No.
Okay. Other than OP is good. So,
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Yeah. But that is going to be it for the spring rundown 167. Thanks for listening, like always. Make sure you leave us a like and a follow on YouTube and all your podcast platforms, all that good stuff. Linktree.com/anime Degens for all of our links for socials, Discord, YouTube, all that good stuff. And we will see you back next week. I think that I'm gonna try to do like a first impression episode of a majority of the shows I'm watching. Um, uh, Maybe I might have a guest on with me. I don't know yet. We will see. But I always look forward to like doing a little episode like this. A couple weeks into the season, kind of see where we're at when I'm watching all these anime. So, but be on the lookout for that. I'm pretty sure that's what it's gonna be. But until then, we will see you next Wednesday. Peace.
Later.